Heading into Week 16, the Bengals' playoff chances are still very, very slim. They have just a 6% chance to make the playoffs this season. After the win against the Tennessee Titans, it helped them a little bit, but they still need a lot of help from several different teams in the AFC. Here's what needs to happen in order for Cincinnati to make the playoffs this season. First, the Bengals need to win out their 3 final remaining games of the year. They host the 3-11 Browns, they host the 9-5 Denver Broncos, and they go to Pittsburgh in their season finale to take on the 10-4 Steelers. They should beat the Browns, but Denver and Pittsburgh are toss-ups. The Steelers are playing really, really good right now, and the Broncos are one of the most surprising teams in the NFL. Honestly, if I had to pick, I think Cincinnati would go 2-1 in their final 3 games, and if they don't go undefeated, it automatically eliminates them from postseason contention. Even if the Bengals go 3-0, they still need help from other teams. One team is the Colts. The Colts have 3 games remaining, and Cincinnati needs the Colts to lose one of their final 3 games, and they take on the 3-11 Tennessee Titans, the 2-12 New York Giants, and the 3-11 Jacksonville Jaguars. And when you're looking at the schedule for the Colts, this could not be any easier for Indianapolis. I mean, these are probably the 3 worst teams in football. I would honestly be shocked if the Colts lost any of these games. So the Bengals go 3-0. The Colts lose one of those games. Then we need the Dolphins to lose a game. They have 3 games remaining, and their schedule is much more difficult than the Colts. They take on the 49ers, who are 6-8. They go on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns, who are 3-11, and they go on the road to take on the New York Jets, who are 4-10. Not a brutal schedule by any means. So compared to this Colts schedule, it's much harder. The 49ers are having a down season. They have lots of injuries, but still don't count them out against the Dolphins. When you're looking at this Browns team, they've played close against some teams, and when you look at this Jets team, they should be better than what they are. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins lose one of these 3 games, because they're a team who should always be in contention and kind of in the middle of the pack, but they just always somehow lose a game that they shouldn't. So the Bengals win their final 3 games against Cleveland, the Broncos, and the Steelers, and then the Colts lose 1 game, and the Dolphins lose 1 game. Still, the Bengals need a whole lot more help from a couple other teams. There are 2 different scenarios for the Bengals. One is the Chargers could lose out, and the other one is the Broncos losing out. I think the Broncos losing out is far more likely. Despite Denver being the better team than the Chargers right now, their difficult schedule is going to make it much more easier for Cincinnati to make the postseason if it relies on the Denver Broncos to lose their final 3 games, because they have a very tough stretch. They go on the road to take on the Chargers, who are 8-6. They go on the road to Cincinnati, who, we are 6-8. And then the final game of the season, they take on the Chiefs, who are 12-1. But that bad part is, realistically, we could see a scenario where the Denver Broncos lose against the Chargers, lose against us, and then the final game of the season against the Chiefs. At that point, the Chiefs may have the number 1 seed locked up in the AFC, and they might bench Mahomes, Kelsey, and their starters, making a very manageable and easy win for the Broncos. And that would really hurt Cincinnati, because if they started Mahomes and if they started their starters against Denver, there's a good chance the Chiefs will win that game. But the Chiefs already have an AFC standings lead, and more than likely going to be the first seed in the conference, there's a good chance the Chiefs might, end up benching their starters the final week, which will really, really hurt Cincinnati's chances of making the postseason. And like I mentioned, the Broncos could lose out, or we could see the Chargers lose out. I think the Broncos losing out is much more likely, because when you look at the Chargers, they take on the 9-5 Denver Broncos. They go on the road to take on the New England Patriots. They go on the road to take on the 2-11 Las Vegas Raiders. So I would be pretty surprised if the Chargers end up losing to the Raiders or the Patriots. There's no reason the Chargers should lose their final 3 games, but if they do and the Cincinnati wins out, the Colts lose a game, and the Dolphins lose a game, we're looking at the Bengals being in the postseason. It's crazy. Heading into the season, we did not think we were going to be in this situation at all. The fact that the Bengals' playoff chances relies on Bo Nix and Anthony Richardson is absolutely mind-boggling, and kind of shows how bad, this Bengals season has been. But, hopefully the Bengals can make the playoffs, and hopefully these things can happen in order for Cincinnati to make the postseason. That about does it for this video. If you're new to my channel or have seen my videos before, make sure to like this video and hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time on the Sports 2 Hein Show.